Hey, welcome back to the Wayward Skein. My name is Lynn. This is episode number 7, I believe. I was expecting to be able to record this a little bit earlier, but I was waiting to finish something, and I only just finished it today. So, yeah, I hope you joined me for Vlogmas. Welcome to anybody who joined me during Vlogmas, and to everybody else, welcome back. It's been a crazy ride. I think it's been since April of last year since I recorded a regular episode, I think. I decided on the spur of the moment to do Vlogmas last minute on the 1st of December. So it wasn't planned out. It was not, it was a little crazy. And there we are. So I guess I'm going to start with my finished object since I just finished it. My hand is all cramped up and I'm very excited. This is the only time you're going to get to see it because on Monday it's going in the mail to its intended recipient. I'm just going to reach behind because it is currently stretched out across my computer monitors. I finished the papillon shawl. You're not going to be able to see all of it in one frame. But there we are. It's so pretty. The sparkles are coming. Oh, there they go. You can see a little bit of sparkle in it. But this is the papillon shawl. Sorry, it's still going. It's a very big shawl. And the wingspan on this side. All the ends are still there because weaving them in doesn't work until you've locked it because otherwise it makes the rows all wonky. I tried it. So the ends are all still here. Christy will have to weave those in herself. There's one end here that she'll have to weave in as well. But yeah, there's only a couple of ends sticking out all over the place. Oh, that's the end of the cast on. Okay, so what is this one then? Oh, that was the end of the ball. So yeah, I only needed the second ball for this much at the bottom of the shawl. I was just like the last little bit here that I needed the second ball. So this is Papillon or Butterfly by Marinja Knits or Marinia Knits. I'm not sure. She is a Vermont-based designer. God, that's so pretty. And my computer is doing weird glitchy things when I do this. I hope that doesn't come through in the actual finished product. It apparently doesn't like those stripes. It just started going all over the place in the camera, so I'm not sure. Like, yeah, it does it every time. It does not like those stripes. So hopefully that doesn't come through in the final podcast, but if it does, I'm very sorry. I tried. There is a picture of it on my Ravelry page. I'm sure Christy will provide me with a picture of it once it is blocked and beautiful, and I mean, it's already beautiful, but she's going to wash and block it because I can't find my blocking mats. Plus, I want her to have it for Vogue Knitting Live in New York City. She is going to be vending at Vogue. Sorry, my hair is a little crazy right now. So she's going to be vending at Vogue Knitting, and this is going to be one of her booth samples. I'm very excited. So I love how it turned out. You can see a little more of the sparkle here. So this is knit out of Fiber Stash. Sorry, I'm just going to, way to go, hit the other keyboard. It's enormous. So yeah, we're just going to do that with it. Look, I'm wearing knitwear. Don't expect it to happen again. So this is knit out of Fiber Stash Twinkle Toes in Temple of Sap is the main color. Look at that gorgeousness. All those little pops of color. There's, I don't know why it's not focusing. There's greens, there's teals, there's purples, there's browns. Why, you know, focus camera. Oh, there we go. So look at that sparkle. And the other, the contrast color, woo, that's great, is Grayt Scott. See if I can get it to stop blowing out. Nope, I can't. It's a very, very pale gray, almost a silvery gray, and it's also got sparkle in it. And it's not going to focus. Ah, there we go. Got a little bit of sparkle in it. Yikes! Unfortunately, my really bright light is like right at the bottom of my screen. Still working on figuring out the lighting in here. I'm working on it. Be patient. So this was a little daylight therapy light that I managed to find for $10, and it's clearly not doing the trick because it's overblowing everything. But yeah, so Temple of Sap. I have 30, I wrote it down. I have 30.7 grams left of the Grayt Scott left, and I have 74 grams of the Temple of Sap left, and that's actually pretty close to color. It's still blowing out the gray, but that looks really good on the Temple of Sap. So yeah, I've got quite a bit of Temple of Sap left, 3/4 of a skein, and I have a little over 1/4 of a skein left of the Grayt Scott. So it is gorgeous. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I hope Christy loves it. This is going to be one of her booth samples at Vogue Knitting Live and most of the other shows that she's doing this year. Sorry, we'll tuck that in. So I started it on, wow, I'm not even looking at my show notes. I'm looking at my journal. It was done on 3.5 millimeter needles, which are US 4. I had to order myself, where did I put them? A pair, right there under all my stuff, of, no, really, where'd they go? There's the cable, of ChowGoo lace, which have a much, much less tangly cord. Like this cord, as soon as I took it out of the package, it did this. No kinks, no nothing, no bends, smoothest joins ever, and super pointy, which made me very happy. The previous needles I was using were these, they're Walmart, I think they're Love brand is what it's called. It kept catching on the joins, especially this one. Like my nail actually gets caught in there. And it was really annoying. The other one is smoother, but this one really catches. And I was always afraid it was going to fall apart. They're way blunter. I don't know if you can tell. But yeah, way blunter. And the cable was very kinky and very, very determined to be in a very certain, like these are cheap needles. They're like $5. And these were rather expensive, but I love my ChowGoos, and they were absolutely worth the price. I was so much happier to have the pointy. I did a Jenny's Surprisingly Stretchy Bind Off. You might be able to tell. I don't know if you can tell, but it is really stretchy. I asked Christy what kind of bind off she wanted, whether she wanted regular I-cord or the super, super stretchy, and she chose the super stretchy. I love the way this looks down here. I really hope it doesn't do it again. Nope, it doesn't seem to be. So it's got like that's the shape of the shawl, like these little rounded edges. Like that's actually the shape of the knitting. So I'm really impressed with it. So I was very happy to switch to the Chow Goos. They're much, much longer for one thing, because this original one was, I think, a 32. But yeah, see the difference in the cables? Like that one is stuck in that shape. And I did dip it in boiling water. Didn't do a damn bit of good. The Chow Goo just hangs straight. They're so much better. So I think that was 32, and this one's a 40. So yeah, I needed the longer needle because it was bunching up horribly on the 32 inch. It was even bunching up on the 40 by the end. But yeah, this is probably going to go to Goodwill because cheap needles. So much happier with my Chow Goos. I had ordered them from Pure Laine, which is a yarn store in Quebec somewhere. I'm not sure where. I had ordered them, I think, on Christmas Day, I want to say, because I was fed up with knitting all bunched up on my needles. And they came about 4 days later, so for Christmas time, that's pretty damn good. I was very happy with my Chow Goos. And now I have them for other projects. That is the only thing I finished. I started that on March 14th of 2020. It took me 3 years to knit it. I finished on January 14th of 2023. I picked it up again during Vlogmas, probably mid-December. And I separated the knitting out. I'll show you the journal page. And yes, I marked the occasion. Finished the papillon in my journal. So just a second here. Here's my page for my tracker page. So I had split it up into parts. I had finished part 1 pretty much basically. And then I think I only had like one section left for part 1. So parts 2 and 3 I separated out into sections. The last section here is just the bind off, which ended up being a lot more than 473 stitches because I did the super stretchy bind off, but that's okay. So I had separated it out and I kept track and I finished it today. I could have finished it last night, but my hand was seriously starting to cramp up and I decided not to keep going. So I made myself wait till today to finish it. So that's my only finished object. It's my first one of 2023. I have been working on one other thing. I picked it up today after I finished, and I cramped my hand up because I was using a short circular needle. Like, hi, George. Like a hat-sized. I was using this. And my hands were cramping up at the, oh my God, the short, like this was bothering me. So I finally switched out to my Knitter's Pride marbles, which are these gorgeous plastic needles. Like they're just so pretty. They're translucent, and this is really blowing out the white bits. You can actually see through the white bits. And so I switched it out to that, but it's my, what's it called again? Nettle Grove Striped Diagonal Scarf by Vanessa Ewing. It's a Plymouth Yarns pattern. I'm not knitting it in Plymouth Yarns. I had 24 repeats before today. Now I have 28. So I've just reached 1/5 of the ball of yarn. I'm down to 80 grams. And I've already got all this. I've already got like probably 4 feet of scarf, almost 5. This is going to be a very long scarf. It's not very wide, and I don't think I realized that when I first, it looks wider blocked out. So I was a little leery about how long this damn thing was going to be. I think it's going to be probably close to 10 feet long. We shall see. It is knit out of Fiddlesticks Knitting Country Silk in Summer Glow. Now this is a wool, not merino, wool, silk, and nylon yarn. I have picked out a ridiculous amount of vegetable matter, which I suspect is part of the silk, or it could be part of the wool as well. But there's a lot of vegetable matter, like scratchy vegetable matter in this yarn. So I'm hoping that as I pick it out, and when I wash and block it, it will soften up because it actually really irritates my hands to knit with. My hands are super itchy after having knit with it for an hour. I did do 4 repeats today, and I'm going to keep track of, how many repeats I manage whenever I pick it up. and what the weight of the yarn, because it's huge, this yarn ball. It's enormous. This is a sport weight, I want to say. Let's see. I think it's a sport weight. What does it say here? Sport, yeah. Oh, well, no wonder. It's a 250 gram ball. That doesn't make any sense. Was it 250 yards when I started? Like 250 grams when I started? I mean, it was a really big ball, but... because this says it's 874 yards a ball. And that would explain why I've already got 4 feet of sweater and still so much yarn. Let's see. It's discontinued. This is the full hank version of the Demi Country Silk, which is the same yarn in 125 gram skeins. So yeah, I think this is 125 gram skeins. It is now sold under the name Fantastic Knitting by Fiddlesticks Knitting, I think. No, it is not. So Fiddlesticks Knitting is no longer selling yarn. It looks like they've been sold to a company called Fantastic Knitting. So you can still get this yarn. I believe I have 125 gram skein, not a 250. So I have about 430 yards of it. Sorry, my cat's making weird noises in the hallway. I believe I have 430-ish yards of it. So yeah, that would explain why it is going so slowly, because basically it's a lot of yarn. It's knit on a 4.5 millimeter needle, which is a US 7. I started it on November 7th. I'm hoping to be able to finish it probably, I'm going to say end of January, but that might be a little ambitious if I end up picking anything else, like casting anything else on. And I do want to cast some other things on now that I'm finished with this beast. I have a few little treats for myself that one of them I actually forgot to pick up to show you. No, dang it, it fell off the edge of my bed. Give me a sec. Don't mind the bat. So that will be in acquisitions because I bought myself something as a treat for finishing this. So that is the only thing I've touched other than this. It's the only knitting I've had. I do have a couple of things that I've acquired because the holidays were really rough at the porter job. The government job was fine. It's usual end of year craziness and covering for people while they're on vacation, etc., etc. The porter job was a little crazier. We had a couple of storms just before Christmas. Like one was a big storm on the 23rd to the 24th, so we had a lot of canceled flights, a lot of people being stranded in places because, of course, it being the holidays, all the flights were already sold out. So there were no flights for us to move them to. So there was a lot of stress, a lot of overtime because the call center closes at 10:30 at night. We weren't just going to shut off the phones and not answer the people who were already waiting in queue. So there were nights where we were on the phone until well after midnight, just answering all the people who had called before 10:30. So there were times when there were 3+ hour wait times, and there were a lot of nights where we worked overtime, a lot of stress, very little sleep. It was, I mean, I'm not complaining because the poor people who were stranded had it way worse, but it was very stressful. Wanting to be able to help people and not being able to, wanting to be able to solve the problem and not being able to, plus having people scream at you and blaming you for everything. It was not a fun holiday season. I indulged in a little bit of retail therapy. So this is what I bought myself at Michael's as a reward for finishing the papillon. This is what I'm allowing myself to cast on as a reward for finishing that. It says, I am not a hot mess. I'm a spicy disaster. My son picked it out. We were at Michael's together. I know it's backwards. So it's a LeisureArts cross-stitch kit. It comes with the hoop and the yarn and the needle, not the yarn, the floss, the needle, the whole bit. It's all in there. I also bought myself some plain fabric, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. So this is going to be started tomorrow. Yeah, my son picked it out. My partner agrees that it is absolutely perfect for me. It's going to go in my office once I have an office. I haven't sorted that out yet. We've just started cleaning my daughter's room out. She came over a couple of times over Christmas to get some stuff. And so we're starting the process of cleaning out her bedroom. She moved out last Christmas. She's living with her birth mom and her grandfather. And there's been some growing pains. I think she realizes that perhaps it wasn't, I don't know. I'm not going to speak for her, but I think it hasn't been as rosy as she was hoping. We have reconnected a little bit over the last few months, and she came to Christmas with us, and we've been spending a little bit more time together. She's been coming over once in a while. So we're starting the process of cleaning out her bedroom. My office is going to go in there because eventually my partner's going to move in here. And I would rather the bedroom be a bedroom when that happens, as opposed to an office with a bed in it. So the big bookshelf that takes up one whole wall is going in the back end of her room. My desk is going to go in the closet. And I think I'm going to get a little side table so that I can sort of spread the computers out a little bit, because right now I have 3 computers on one desk. It's a lot. And I want to put a little sofa bed in there as a spare room sort of thing. So we've just started that process, and it's very slow going right now, but we'll get there. I'm going to take this off because I'm dying. I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, which I almost never do. I have to pack that up to go in the mail on Monday, so you won't see it again. So other things I acquired, I bought a grab bag of what I thought were going to be little minis. They're not. They're big ones. And I love this vacuum sealing thing. This is the first time I had ever seen that. So this is just a grab bag of 100 grams. It's roughly 370 yards. It's 80/20 merino nylon. And it is from Borealis Fibers. I know that's upside down. I went backwards. I know. She is on Etsy. I'm going to link her down below. So these are super cute. I love the colors. I love the, sorry, there's a little thingy in there that says it's a grab bag. I love the colors. Like, I absolutely love them. This blue is just speaking to me. The blue on this side and the chartreuse with it. Well, it's not so much chartreuse. But these two colors together just making me so happy. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these yet, because I was expecting little minis to put in my blanket, and these are not, and I don't want to break them up. So, sorry. So that was the first thing that I purchased. I also bought myself, I've always wanted to try dragonfly fibers. So I bought myself their pool party mini set. So the green one kind of like flipped behind all the others. And so this one's also vacuum sealed. And so I thought this was the coolest thing ever. Like, it makes it so much easier to ship. It takes up so much less space. And guess how many of these I could probably stack in my stash? Maybe I should buy myself a vacuum sealer, like one of those food saver thingies, to put all my yarn. Probably not, because that's a lot of plastic. And they're already all in Ziploc bags. But this is so cool. I'm really tempted. So yeah, I bought this from Dragonfly Fiber, what is it? Dragonfly Fiber Studio on Etsy. It is, I'm pretty sure it's also 80/20. Pool Party Fingering Yarn. I'm pretty sure it's 100 grams for 400 yards for 100 grams. I can speak. Really, I can. I ordered this beginning of January, because we were still having flight cancellations and storms at the beginning of January. It was so much fun. So I ordered these. And then I ordered myself from SueGer Crafts, SueGer. Her name is Sue Garellis, or Jarellis, I'm not sure. But I finally got my little teeny minis. I'm so happy. I haven't added any to my blanket because I was not allowing myself to pick up my blanket until I was done the papillon. So now that I am done with my blanket, now that I'm done with the papillon, I can start adding to my blanket again. I'm so happy. They're so cute. And there's like quite a mix of colors in here. Because all I had left of minis when I finished with Vlogmas was these 3. That's all I had left. So, and this one's already in my blanket, this blue one. It's already in there. That's an Open Skies yarn from Jeanette, who used to be the Bookish Knitter. I don't remember what she's calling herself now. But anyway, so these were the only 3 I had left, and I was very sad because I really wanted to work on my blanket some more. So I will put these back in here. If you're not into the whole Christmassy scene and you did not join me for Vlogmas, I acquired this bit of absolute luscious yarn from Suburban Stitcher. She came out with her Christmas colorways and I could not help myself. I had to order this. This came out, I think, on the 22nd of December, which is when I ordered it. I'm not going to be ordering yarn from the US again anytime soon because this poor skein, this perfectly reasonably priced skein of yarn, which was $28 US, cost me $60 between the exchange rate and the shipping cost. Not going to be ordering from the US again anytime soon. Not at all Diane's fault. It's just the way the exchange rate and the postage is right now. It's very painful. It is this gorgeous set of teals and turquoises with some nice pops of rusty red and a little bit of green in there. You can see. It is just beautiful. I cannot wait to knit with this. I need the perfect project. I don't know if it's going to be a pair of socks because I don't like knitting. I don't like wearing hand-knit socks. I love knitting them. Hate wearing them because I can feel every single stitch on the bottom of my foot and it bugs me. So I'm not sure. This may be a pair of fancy mitts for me or gloves. We'll see. But I'm not touching it until I come up with the perfect project for it. In the meantime, I just pet it and love it. I don't call it George because that's a cat. So that is what I have acquired. I also picked up some stickers, which are now under all my stuff. So I picked up these sort of blue foil hearts, which I've already used a couple of. And I picked up this mixed bag, which did not come with the paper. Where'd it go? There they are. So I got this mixed sample pack of stickers. This is from CraftyBasix on Etsy. Look at how she seals her little bags. It's a little sticker. You can open it up. And there are a bunch of different ones in here. They're just gorgeous. So this is her card. I'm sorry, I know it's all backwards. Come on, you can do it. There you go. And she's got a little QR code on the back that you can scan to get to her shop. I swear this is one of my favorite ones. It's not going to focus. There we go. It's just beautiful. I've got a foil one, watermelon. That one's going in my journal somewhere, one thing at a time. This one comes in a set with the turtle one. There's 4 of them that come in a set. Sorry, it's not focusing properly here. It's really fuzzy. Come on, you can do it. It might, oh, there we go. It finally focused. She gave me a sample of the foil flowers, which are new. And I got a kick out of this one. That one I may send to one of my sewing friends. So it was just a little mixed bag for a couple of dollars. And I really enjoyed them. They're really cute. And I also picked this up at Michael's the same time I bought the, it's a little stamp. It's a little rubber stamp. Oh, there you go. That shows right side around because it's backwards because it's a stamp. So this is a book plate stamp, and I'm really looking forward to using it. I've always wanted one of these, and I finally just decided to buy it. Believe me, I made so much extra money over the Christmas holidays working all that overtime that I could afford to give myself a little bit of retail therapy. Now I have to, that's pretty much all I can buy, though, for a while. Yeah, I overindulged slightly. but that's okay because we're all grown-ups and I can buy my own yam yarn. I want to stop buying yarn though, because like all I've been allowing myself to buy is minis with the exception of this thing, because who can resist this? She still has some of her Christmas colorways left. So if you live in the US and shipping is not ridiculously prohibitive, and if the exchange rate is not going to kill you, go check it out, because her Christmas, I wanted all 4 Christmas colorways. But this one was my color, like teal is my love. So I couldn't resist it, and I just can't stop looking at it. Look at it, it's so pretty. So if you have a few bucks and you want to buy some yarn, it's got some yellow down here that is sticking out. But if you're in the US and it's not going to kill you to order it, there's some left. So just saying. That is all I acquired, which is quite enough, quite frankly. It was a lot. I get the kick out of the fact that CraftyBasix has her own tissue paper that's printed with her logo. I love that. So there's a couple of new podcasts that I've been watching. The first one is a Fiber Collective, which is a subscription service. They have 3 different boxes that you can choose. One of them is farm yarn, which is undyed. One of them is sock yarn, and one of them is hand-dyed. So I'm not sure what the difference between the sock yarn and the hand-dyed is. I think maybe the hand-dyed isn't always fingering weight. But I haven't looked into it because, again, it's an American company and it's ridiculously expensive for me to order it as a Canadian because our exchange rate sucks. It's not as bad as it was in mid-December, but it's still pretty bad. It was up to almost 40 cents, the exchange rate. When I ordered that yarn, it was almost exactly 40 cents. And I still ordered it. So I have no one to blame but myself. But she has 3 subscription boxes. She recently did an unboxing video, and I really wish I could afford one. But not just yet. Maybe next year when the exchange rate goes down a little bit. But she's got some really, really nice subscription boxes. But she's also started like a regular podcast where she's showing what she's working on, what she's planning on knitting, all that fun stuff. She doesn't go on and on and on about the subscription box in the regular podcast. She does have unboxing videos for the subscription service itself, but her podcast is a podcast. And I really enjoyed it. She has a very calming sort of vibe. She's very knowledgeable. She's done a couple of tutorial videos as well. I'm very much enjoying watching her. So I would suggest you check her out. And of course, I can't think of her name right now because I didn't write down names because I'm a twit. Sheep and Oak is one for people who like longer episodes. Her inaugural episode was 1.5 hours long. Ouch. It took me several days to get through that one because I have a teeny tiny attention span. So it is a very, very good podcast. If you want to check out, if you like longer episodes and you want to check out a podcast, Sheep and Oak is one I would definitely recommend. The Woolly Worker is another one. I don't know what nationality she is, but she's living in Scotland. She has a very French sounding accent, but the name was unusual. And of course I've forgotten it. I'm not sure she's French. I'm not sure she might be Belgian. She might be Italian. I'm not sure. But she's living in Scotland, and her initial episode was very, very interesting. She's a relatively new knitter, but she's like crazy about sweater knitting. She's knit a whole bunch of sweaters. She uses vests as palette cleansers. Bit of an overachiever, but she's knit some really, really gorgeous stuff. The sweater she was wearing in the first episode, I want to knit. It made me want to knit a sweater. Me. So I kind of, it was a petite knits pattern, and I really want to knit it. Like, who doesn't want to knit petite knits right now? Everything they're coming out with is gold. So, yeah, that's another one I would recommend. And the 4th one was Old Time Knits. OLDETHYME knits. And that one was super fun as well. So I would highly recommend all 4 of those. Go check them out. Give them some love. that's about it. Things are still crazy for me. I'm still working a ridiculous number of hours every week. I'm trying to settle myself into sort of a routine of planning what I want to knit and how much time I want to devote to it every day. And I'm trying to put some some reading time into my schedule as well, because since I started going to university back in 2012, I've basically given up reading for pleasure. Wow, I've got knitting on the brain. I'm very tired. It's been a long day. I'm podcasting. It's almost 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday because I worked 1 to 9 today, and I had to wait till I was done work to record the episode. I should have done it this morning before work, but I didn't get around to it. I was doing laundry and going crazy and trying to get everything done before I start work. So I'm trying to be a little more mindful about how I spend my time. I'm trying to not just zone out in front of the computer and scroll Facebook all day and binge watch shows and things like that. So I'm trying to think about how I'm spending my time a little bit better and plan a little bit better. And that's kind of a habit I want to get into. I'm starting to use my planner a little bit more. Although I did forget it for half of December. I kind of forgot it existed, except for the tracking page, because I had it open to the tracking page for the Papillon the whole time, and I wasn't using the rest of the planner. But it's an 18-month planner, so I'm not worried about it. You'll have seen some pictures in the intro of things that I made to eat. I'm going to try and put a little blurb as to what each one is, and a little bit of video that I took. I don't remember what all's on there. I know I took a little bit of video of the table, my plant table. My pothos is starting to show signs of life again. It's starting to produce new leaves. My aloe is still going absolutely bonkers. It's the only plant that has really enjoyed being in that window. All the other plants that I brought home from the office promptly died. My Fittonia, my shamrock just decided it was done when I moved it here from the office, and has gone dormant. So I don't think it will see the light of day again. It might not. I had bought a basil plant last weekend from the grocery store, and I was watering it. I was I was doing stuff with it. This morning, dead. So I'll see if I can revive it with a little, I want to repot it into a little bit more dirt and some extra water. We'll see if that brings it back to life. If not, I had a basil plant for a week. So I'm going to start editing this and put everything away and hopefully upload tonight. If not, then you'll see me tomorrow. But yeah, I'm hoping to make this a regular thing again, and hopefully it won't be as long next time because I was waiting to finish a big project to show you. So I'm going to say goodnight, and I hope you all have a great week.